This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. Yes, I'm out here on a walk. I actually feel a little bit better physically. I've been dealing with some ailments, flare up. It was hard for me to walk, but I'm back out here and I'm doing my thing. To be honest with you, it's been a long road because I haven't been to the gym in a while. And the reason I ain't been to the gym in a while is because of my physical ailments. But I'm doing what I can do now and building up my confidence again. So when I get in the gym, I do what I need to do and then get back on that bike, get back on that horse and keep going. But enough of that. I want to talk about life, evolving as a person, preferences, and people going through changes, One thing that I want to say is that I have no hatred for anybody. I may sometimes have fits and bursts of anger, but I'm working on controlling that a little bit better than what I do. But I really don't have any hate. Even the people that's done me bogus, I'm really at this point in my life where I'm just so tired of it. I'm just ready to let it go and just move on with my life. I'm always improving, and I understand that some things I can't improve on. Like, I have to just accept exactly where I'm at and do the best that I can to be the best version of myself. And when I made my first video after doing my first trip from the DR, that's what this whole experience was about. But then different things and different life situations started happening. Me observing certain things and certain situations of society started happening. And my perspective on a lot of things have evolved and changed. And one thing that I had to understand is that not only am I changing, but the people around me are changing. And sometimes when we're changing and we're growing, people sometimes grow apart. Like they no longer like the other person. They no longer vibe with the other person. The moves that person is making, they don't understand or don't want to understand. And they don't want to be a part of it. And that's one thing that I had to just realize and come to grips with and accept. Accept change. And change doesn't always look the way that we want it to look. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes we look at that change and we like, damn, what did we do for this to happen? And one thing that I understand as a man is that we play a role in everything in our lives. Even when we're trying to do our best to improve, it's going to have some type of reaction. I had one group, like one clique of friends left that I hung out with. I'm no longer with that clique anymore. And I still have a sprinkling of friends here and there. So I'm not just totally friendless, but I'm no longer associated with a group of friends, like a pack of us. It's no longer a pack. And I understand that even with the sprinkling of friends that I have, that can disappear at any moment too. And to the people that I was friends with, I don't know if you'll see this video or not, but I hold no ill feelings towards you. As a matter of fact, I thank you for the journey that we had. But at the same time, I understand that I don't know you niggas anymore at all. I don't know you. You don't know me. Anybody asks me about you, I don't know what's going on with you or how you doing. Hopefully you say the same thing about me. We don't know each other anymore. I don't care how long I knew you. We are no longer associates, no longer acquaintances. I don't know about your family. You don't know about mine. It's a done deal. There's no ties between me and you guys anymore. And it's fine. I've been through this so many times before in my life. Before, I didn't know how to handle it. Now I'm getting to the point to where I'm like, oh, this is how I handle situations like. And to be honest with you, yeah, I was upset. You know, I did get angry. I did get emotional a little bit. But at the end of the day, I had to realize that everybody has the right to make the choice that they want to have, regardless of whether I like it or not. And vice versa, you know. And when I started hanging around this certain group of people, well, first, one of the people in this group, I've been knowing for over 20 years. I would say about 22 years I've been knowing him. Actually, a little bit over that. So I've been knowing him for a long time. The other guys I met 2017, 2018, and we all hung out together. And to be honest with you, when I first met them, I was not in a good place in my life. You know, yes, I was freshly minted in an organization, a frat, but I wasn't doing good financially. I was going through a divorce. I was low-key depressed, but trying to pretend like everything was okay with me. And to be honest with you, I was at the beginning stages of being a loser. And what do I mean by I was in the beginning stages of being a loser? Like, I didn't want to face reality. I didn't want to face what I was going through. I didn't want to be realistic about how I was seen in society. I just put on this facade of trying to look like a good guy, do everything that everybody wanted, go out, party, drinking, kicking it, showing that I'm, sociable and I'm active in the community, things of that nature. But in the inside of me, I was rotting away. I wasn't eating good. I'm talking about I was eating terribly. I was eating a lot of junk food, a lot of fast food. I was drinking heavy liquor. I'm talking getting sloppy drunk. And the people that I hung around, they hung around me for entertainment. Because not only was I doing this, I was giving a lot of money away, a lot of my resources away, buying drinks, buying food, giving rides, a lot of stuff that nobody took into account at the end of the day. So I made a lot of sacrifices for these guys. I'm talking about, I remember times when I would be invited out to a bar, or matter of fact, like a club. I'd be invited out to a club. One of my friends would be trying to impress a chick. He's like, oh, can you buy this bottle? And it costs like $200. I really shouldn't have been spending that type of money because I wasn't in a good financial situation. But since I had it, and I was like, man, I want to hang out with him and be around the presence of some decent looking women, I bought the bottle. But he was like, oh, I want to make sure it looked like I spent the money. So he wanted me to get him the money so he can look like it was him that bought it, not me. So he was impressing these chicks, but I'm sitting at the table and they probably was wondering, why am I at that table and I'm not contributing to anything? And then I know that afterwards, they probably asked a question, because it's obvious to me now that they would ask something like, why was he there? And then he would come up with an excuse like, oh, he's just going through a whole hard time. He's depressed. You know, he's broke. You know, he just went through a divorce. So I told him I would have him come out and chill and have a good time so he get his mind off of things. Like, that was his front to use on me to get the women that he wanted so he could look like a good guy. And me, I was so naive, I didn't see that type of stuff. And I'm not blaming him because game is game. And if you can do it, do it. If you see a fool, use that fool. So I don't have any, you know, animosities towards anybody for how they treated me. Hey, they have the right to do that if I'm foolish enough to fall for it. To fall for people saying that they really, truly, genuinely my friends, but in the end, when time reveals things, it shows that it wasn't that way. And I messed up too. I did some really foul, messed up things because I was going through life, you know, being depressed, thinking that I was owed something because I did a lot of stuff for people and nobody wanted to do anything in return for me. Then a lot of people would say, oh, we didn't ask you to do all that stuff, when sometimes they did. But it's a way for them to get out of the guilt of how they treated me. But at the end of the day, it's my fault. I take the responsibility. I hold myself accountable for allowing myself to be a loser for so long. So when I really hit rock bottom back in 2020, and I had to figure out a way to recover without becoming subservient to some people that I didn't want to be subservient to, I figured out a way. I built my money up. I built my possessions up. You know, I travel. You know, I'm living life the way that I want to live it. I have my preferences, and I make no excuses for it because I'm just being me. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not trying to harm anybody. There's certain things that I used to do when I was younger that I would never do now. Like, I remember when I was younger, I used to criticize guys that had women that I didn't find attractive. But as I got older, I realized that some men are capable of looking beyond physical beauty, and they look more into the character of that person. And they fall in love with that character of the person, and that makes them want to be with that person. And that's a beautiful thing if they're able to do that. Because you got a lot of people out here that's stuck on physical appearances that's never going to find anybody because they don't have the capabilities within themselves to look at the character of a person and to find common ground with that character of the person. And me being older and understanding my personal situation, I have to tip my hat off to them. And I have to say, I was wrong for ever putting anybody down for the physical appearances of their women, because to be honest with you, that's some bitch shit. Only women do shit like that. Criticize the looks of that person's partner. And women do it all the time. You see how it's like, that's the reason why women are scared to be with certain men, even if they find that guy attractive, because they're afraid of what their friends will think. And then think about it. That guy that they find attractive and they're afraid of what their friends will think. And say, for instance, that guy has a bad reputation. They definitely gonna stay away from that person. And then if it's one woman who they know that have a hard time with finding a guy, they gonna try to tack that person onto him and then use that bad reputation to try to shame him into being in that relationship Or if he finally just says, no, I'm not going to do it, he just be by himself. You know how I know that? Because I went through that. So, and I've been through it more than one time. So I know what it is that I'm talking about. I'm just saying it in a simple way. I'm not saying it in an analytical, educated way that most people want me to break it down, because that's not me. Even though I went to college and I got my degree, so I just had to accept that I've grown and developed as a person. There's certain things about me that I can't change. I've hurt people unintentionally. Sometimes I hurt them intentionally. And sometimes, like, that hurt got to come back to me. I can't help it that I don't find certain women attractive. That's just the nature of life. Just like I can't help it that a lot of the women don't find me attractive, and that's okay. They don't have to. It's up to me to find the person. Even if that means I got to move around. Even if that means that me moving around upsets the guys that's in the area that I live in, because they like, oh, he's supposed to take these bullets for us, so we don't have to take the bullets. But no, that's not how life works. If I suffer, we all have to suffer, because like DMX said, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. So, like I said, I hold no ill feelings for anybody. I hold no ill feelings towards the people that left me alone. I hope everybody do well and have success in their life, even if you don't feel the same way about me. I know I'm gonna be okay, because I done been through so much stuff within the past 6 years and have survived it all, that I know that I'm gonna be all right. Like I said, this isn't to insult anybody. This isn't to make fun of anybody, put down anybody. All the different groups and organizations that I was a part of, I hope the people in those groups and organizations do well in life. Any animosity that I had, it's over with. I don't want to be angry anymore. I know I'm going to get angry again in some facet of part of life, but I have to learn how to control my emotions a little bit better. That's all I'm saying. Like, I want peace, even if I disagree with you, even if you disagree with me. There's no need to mean mug me, no need to try to intimidate me, because I'm not trying to bother anybody. And I hope nobody wants to bother me. And I'm going to do better than how I used to do at staying away from people that don't want to be around me. And I'm going to pick where I go very carefully. And I know that even with family functions, I got to be careful with that, because I'm not trying to be caught up in any drama or anything like that. And but as far as relationships go, because of everything that I've been going through from the past 4 years when I started traveling, and the non-existence of companionship here, I've decided to just stay single until I'm not. And just like it's going to take a special person to change that, I got to change it to a special person as well. And I understand that. And I understand that it's a possibility that I'll be able to transform into that, or I might just have to stay single for the rest of my life. And either way, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I'm done fighting it. I'm done being upset about it. It's okay. I'm still valuable to me. Even if I'm not valuable to anybody else, I'm valuable to me. But with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.